What about the NFC Championship game? 6 straight in a row. Shanahan has beaten the McVay Rams. Now here comes the one with the most stakes on it. What do you think will be the best chance to make sure the Rams break this losing streak, Lewis?
Wow, man. This one really just comes down to a mentality, really. I mean, look, there's a lot of things that are always going to play a factor, as you know, turnover differential, situational football, blah, blah, blah. Get off the field on third down, run the football, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We know all those things that lead to winning in the NFL. But this is really about a mentality. And I remember when we did the first game of theirs this year, the first matchup that they had in Santa Clara, and sitting in the production meetings and talking to Kyle Shanahan. And the first question I asked him was, I said, look, last year, meaning in 2020, when you guys played them in Santa Clara, I said the first thing that jumped off the screen to me from this, I always start with the TV copy and then move to the all-22 tape copy when I'm watching these games.
Yeah.
I said, was the sound of the hitting in that game, because there's no fans in the stands, and the mics are picking up everything. And I said, it physically sounded like you guys were delivering them a rear end kicking that was epic. And he goes, that's how we want to play them. That's how we feel like we can beat them. Because we feel as though, he said, quote, I told Deebo Samuel this needs to be a Deebo type of game. You need to be snatching chains, stealing bicycles, just like the character in the movie, and that's how we're gonna play them. Because they don't want to play that way. And you know what? They play them that way every time, man. It goes up another level. Look, they play everybody that way, but it goes up another level when they play the Rams. And that's going to be the deciding factor in this game. How is Aaron Donald? How is Jalen Ramsey? How is Von Miller? How are the Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham? How are they going to respond? Are they going to match them blow for blow, or at some point in time in 3.5 hours, are they going to make a mistake or wilt or not be able to withstand that kind of intensity? Because that's what San Francisco counts on. They count on being tougher than you and being, good at what they do, but they count on being tougher than you, and I love that about them. I'm not the get off the lawn, old crotchety guy, but I am a guy who likes that kind of football because that's the era that I played in and the era that I love. And that's how those dudes play, man. And that's why I love that matchup. And I'm just wondering, they say, people always say, no, they're not in my head. They're not in my head. Hey, man, we had our chances. I'm not in my head. I don't have any lack of confidence. BS. When a team beats you that many times and they beat you a certain way, and you know what the reason is, that starts to play on your psyche, and you start questioning yourself, especially at those crunch times in the game where it comes down to, I know what they're going to run. I know they're going to put 19 in the backfield, and they're just going to let him run. Can I get him down, though? When he sits and he dips his shoulder on me, is he going to run my rear end over? Am I going to miss this tackle? Is George Kittle going to put me on my back? Those are the questions they have to answer, and that's why that game gives me goosebumps, because that's really what this game is all about, man. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
You got my juices flowing just hearing every last word you just said. I mean, that Monday night game you're referring to, it was really the first time all year the Niners looked like the Niners of 2019. And that was the night where Odell made his debut. Robert Woods had just blown his knee out. Stafford forced that ball to start the game down the field. They were not on the same page, clearly, Odell and him. Yep. But now they do appear to be that way. And Stafford made the plays. I mean, if I had told you that the Rams would make 4 huge mistakes, turnovers, and blowing a huge lead against the Rams, your thought would be Stafford would have to make one of them. He made none of them. And as a matter of fact, he made the throws to Kupp to kind of save the day. So what about this team now, even though they did not respond to that sort of Niners mentality in the third quarter of that Week 18 game where they may have had the best chance to eliminate the Niners of anybody else in this postseason?
I do think they are different. I do think that this football team has found its groove, its rhythm, its formula for winning. I think they know, starting with that game, that Monday night game that we did, that they can't just be a get in the shotgun and throw it 45, 50 times and let Matthew Stafford just dazzle us with his arm. They know that this has to be more like 2017, 2018 Rams, where it's Sony Michel, Cam Akers, lots of inside-outside zone, running the football, and then play-action pass, getting the gun sporadically, let Matthew dazzle you a little bit. But they know that they have to play the tough guy game, too, because it helps their offensive line. It helps the whole mentality of their football team. And I do think they know that that's what it's going to take against this team. I think defensively, look, Aaron Donald knows that he has to be three-time MVP, defensive MVP Aaron Donald. Mm-hmm. Vaughn knows that this is why I was brought here. Jalen Ramsey knows I need to play in the slot against Debo. I need to be as close to the action as possible. Don't park me out here on the corner covering someone, look, as good as Brandon Ayuk is, don't park me out here where they can just formation me out of the game. Leave me in the mix. Leave me in the action here. I think these guys know that that's what it's going to take, and they have some damn good players in order to get the job done. So I don't think they lack confidence. I'm just saying, Rich, that whereas they know what the formula is and what it's going to take, the question is, when it comes down to it, when it's fourth quarter and you're tired, and all of a sudden 19 starts lining up in the backfield even more, and it's 3rd and 6, and you're going, you know what, most teams throw it here, but Kyle's going, it's 3rd and 7, I'm going to run it. I'm going to dare you to stop it, and I'm going to put big Trent Williams in motion, and I'm going to have him just blow up your defensive end like he did to Rashawn Gary.
I saw
what
that.
are you going to do about it? That's what I'm waiting to see how the Rams respond to that.
So Lewis is picking the 49ers.
I don't know. So I guess no. Well, I mean, so based on your analysis, would it be safe to say Chiefs and Niners, Super Bowl 56, or what? What do you think from you?
Yeah, that's what I'm picking. Even though, I'm never going to bet against Patrick and the DNA of that team in Kansas City. Although you just love everything since he's doing, and Joe Burrow's a stud, and Jamar Chase is ridiculous. And when it comes to the NFC, though, look, I can't say this enough. I love everything that is Aaron Donald. Everything. Where he grew up, school he went to naturally, what he has made himself into, 3-time defense. I mean, it's sickening how much respect I have for that young man. Jalen Ramsey is an absolute warrior. Got to talk to him just a couple weeks. I mean, these guys, and Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, I mean, I love these dudes. It's hard for me to pick this game. It really is. But I just believe when I sat and talked to Kyle, and we were in there in those meetings, and he looked and he said, I'm glad you brought that game up from 2020. He goes, and I'm going to tell you what I told our team this week. I told Debo, this needs to be a Debo type of game. That stuck with me all year long. And they came out and they play that way, man. And I'm drawn to that. Not to say that the Rams can't play that way.
Right.
I'm drawn to that physicality aspect of the game that has been legislated largely out of the game. They find a way to do it within the rules, and it's beautiful. And so I'm always going to bet on that.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.